Good morning, you sons of fishes. Today, I'll be doing a video about the basics for your freshwater and for your saltwater get-ups. The basic thing that you're gonna need for your cats, bass, and brim, and for your reds, flounders, and spots. You go ahead and stick with these rigs, and I believe that you'll be able to progress as you get better, and you're gonna be able to figure out what you need to do to dial down to your specific needs. I've had a special request, and I'm putting this video out this morning, y'all. Check it out. Let's talk about the rod and reel you're gonna use. They suggest the line you use anywhere from 6 and 15 pounds. 6'6". I would say it's a medium. You don't need to worry about the bait casters. If you're new, don't worry about bait casters. Get you a spinning reel, and I'm gonna recommend you to get an ugly stick rod with the Shakespeare reel at Walmart. You can get them for like, I think, $30 for a combo. That's the best rod and reel you're gonna wanna get. You wanna get like a 6-footer, medium action. You're gonna be able to catch brim, catfish, and bass. There's different rods for different fish, but that's when you get into trying to pull out catfish that's 50 plus pounds. And then you need a bigger rod, because you could snap your rod. Let me kind of show you what I got here without flinging all my hooks all over the damn place. Walking back here barefoot. Going to Walmart and you just want to know what to buy to put inside of one of these little plastic things, I'm gonna lay out each individual piece that you're gonna want, and you just buy a pack of them. How about that? So you've got your split shots, your drop shots, your egg sinkers, and your bank sinkers. For me, this is more for catfishing in small bodies of water. Bullhead catfish, not so much river catfish. Then you got your hooks that you can use for brim, or you can catch bass on these as well. Always get the long shank hooks. If they take it down to the gullet, you can still get it out. You still have a long shank on the end of that hook. These little guys here are for when the little fish keep stealing your worm, but they're not big enough to take the hook. You put the little hook on, and then you start yanking them little bait thieves out of the water and putting them on a catfish hook. Alright? This right here is for a soft plastic. Something like this. Also, you're going to need to have your bobbers for a lot of these setups right here. But you can also use a live earthworm on this. You don't have to use this for small plastics, or soft plastics, I'm sorry. You know, you could hook it up something like that here, okay? But you could do the same thing with a worm. Take that worm and thread it all the way up to where its nose is going to be touching the end of this sucker right here. Push them up on there. That worm's going to be kicking, and you can just take them and hop them along the bottom. A bass is going to hit that for sure. Stick with live and real baits other than the artificial baits, because that's just the way to go. Live baits are what the fish are eating. They're not down there dying on plastic, y'all. They're eating worms. They're eating fish. They're eating snails. They're eating frogs, you know, lizards. Let me tell you something. You put a worm on this hook and you dangle it out in front of a frog, that frog is going to shove the worm and hook and everything into his mouth. Then you go, yoink. Now you got a frog to bass fish with. Live bait's the best way to go. Always.
You will catch fish using live bait.
Alright, and that's pretty much the freshwater setup. Go to the little tackle shop, run in, grab a few things, know what you want to do. Minnows, worms, grubs, anything that you can even find by the beach. Crickets, love crickets. Brim, man, there's something about that twitching cricket on that sun. Alright, now, for saltwater, this is what we're going to look at. Alright, now this is our saltwater setup. some things stay the same. Like these hooks right here are the perfect size hooks for what I like, these nylon coated wire single drop bottom rigs. Okay, now you can get different kinds. It doesn't matter what brand, but it's a coated wire. You attach this to your main line, okay, and you put a weight here at the bottom, probably about this size, and then you take this hook and you put it right here. But you can use any one of these hooks besides the jig head also on this rig, not just the number 2 hook. In fact, I like to use the circle hooks on this rig a lot. And that way, anything in the bottom of the ocean, or if you're fishing on the rocks or anything, it's not going to beat your line up, okay, because this is a coated wire. So that's why I like this for waterways and shorelines that may have some rocks and stuff like that. Then you got your bigger size hooks here. Now these are for a bigger fish. If you're going for big spot tail, red drum, or big trophy fish, you don't want to use something, I would, more like this. You can also catch spot tail on these. Flounder, right here. Take you a minnow, you put them up there, and you can drag that along the bottom, and you can fish for flounder. You can also do a drop shot type rig with one of these, and sit there and jig the line. When you have a egg sinker, that's to promote your line from going in and out. So it sits on the bottom, and when you let slack and when you take slack, this is what happens. Okay, I find that flounder will hit that on that rig there. Also, here we have catfish in the waterways and stuff, so I keep a circle hook. But a circle hook is good for any fish. It just promotes a hook in the side of the mouth and a self hook, so you don't have to set it. Good hook. Love circle hooks. Our weights, we've stepped up a little bit because now we're in the ocean. Okay, waterway, this is fine. Ocean, bankside, somewhere that you're in a area where there's boating, things like that, you're going to want this. Now, if you're at a lot of rocks and you're afraid of a lot of snags, that's where these babies right here come in. That's what bobbers are for, okay? You set that sucker about 2-3 feet down, let it roll. When you're fishing for flounder, smaller fish, spots even, things like this, sheephead, you can use, basically the same thing you're going to use on your saltwater rig. Just make sure you spray it. Spray your reel and things so, that saltwater don't mess it up. Freshwater, you ain't got to really worry about it, but saltwater will mess it up. But if you're going after larger game fish, just like we're talking about them big cats in the river, you're going to need a bigger rod and reel. You're going to need some 50-pound test line. You're going to need some different things. But when I make a leader on anything that I'm throwing out in the ocean, I always use 50-pound line. So that's just a little summary of the things that you'll need for freshwater fishing and saltwater fishing where I'm from around here. And if you guys like the video, subscribe, and hell, share me on Facebook. We can get monetized in this. Appreciate y'all watching.
Peace.